Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jessica Lachelle. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, happy Monday. Here in Georgia, it is gloomy as hell. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, share if you dare, okay? Anywho, I was like, I haven't been on here to like really do the surgical tech questions or, I've been putting up, trailer travel stuff and everything, which I've been having fun with. And I'm debating on if I want to kind of slide away from surgical tech. I do a lot of back and forth. I don't know, y'all. But part of me kind of still wants to do like the questions for you guys. Of course, I'm not a surgical tech anymore. I got that degree though. I can always go back to that shit. I'm just letting you know. Anywho, I kind of wanted to touch on more recently, more on motherhood and just taking chances on life and stepping out on faith. And something dear to my heart just kind of came back into my head and just brought it to my attention. It has been 10 years since I left Kansas City and I moved down here to Georgia, right? And it's probably the best thing I could have ever done for my fucking self, y'all. I'm not even gonna hold you because I already in my heart knew that if I would have stayed in Kansas City, I would not have grown to the woman that I am now. Georgia turned me into a woman, okay? Chicago, I was a mommy. But other than that, like when I got down here, it's so many lessons I learned, you guys. And I'm grateful for it because it showed me how strong I am, especially as a single mother. And knowing that I did what I needed to do to get my son out of Kansas City to let him see more in life. And this child is so bougie now, y'all. Oh my goodness. Even though he's my big baby, he just turned 16. We came here when he was 6, y'all. And that's where I kind of thought about. I was like, let me do a little story time. So once upon a time, not long ago, not saying. But yes, I'm going to do a story time. So stay tuned. So when I decided to move to Georgia, it was already in the works, you guys. And I'm put a little side story in here. I really wanted to go to Clark Atlanta. And I always wanted to go to a HBCU. I wanted to be where the black, sophisticated, educated people were. And did I see that in Kansas City? Not really. Not really. I've had smart friends and everything. People really didn't went like we were dumb. No, it's just the sophistication, the way people carry themselves that I saw, the history of Georgia, and I was like, look here, baby, that's where I'm going. And this is before I had a son, before I left out of high school and try to go to college. I was like, Georgia is where I want to be. And I'm going to have a whole full circle at the end of this video. It's crazy. And I allowed my mother and her filthy husband to talk me out of leaving this state. And that's how you could tell, like, with a lot of black families, they don't I'm not gonna say they don't want you to do better for yourselves, but they project their fears, they project their negativity on you, or try to keep tabs on you, if you know what I mean, all because of their sickening ways. And I fell into it. And I wish I would have more of, my own discernment. I wish I would have more, um, how can I say this? Like more, I don't know what the word is, y'all. More like standing up for myself. And I was like, I got to the point that I was like, why was I listening to people? Like, they basically scared me, like, you're a girl, you shouldn't go all the way that far. And, if something happens to you, it's going to take about 12, 13 hours just to get to you. And I'm like, but why are y'all putting that in my head? Like, something going to happen to me. And I was like, bruh, and I was like, I allowed that literally an argument of me wanting to leave and go to Georgia at the age of 18 after I done did what I was supposed to fucking do. And y'all telling me that I can't go to another state, or if I go to another state, go somewhere where there's family, which, okay, I get that. But y'all, I was like, when I look back now, I allow so many people to just manipulate my mental as a teenager, and that makes me, it's like, it still to this day, it kind of gets up under my skin. But yes, and that was in '08, '07, '08. And I had my son, moved to Chicago. Didn't work out with me and the dad. We're still co-parenting this bitch. Do what you do, bruh. I ain't mad at you. Just take care of your kid. That's how I am. And I got to the point that I was just like, I'm over Kansas City. I love Kansas City. I'm gonna rep it all day, but I was not feeling growth. I was having depression. I was like, I was feeling stuck, stagnant. Everybody in my family wasn't really doing much, nothing in life. Like, as much as I love them, I didn't really see anybody really go for shit. But minus my cousin Keish and my cousin Crystal. They the only two ones in the family that I really saw like actually go to college. And I looked up to them for that, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm right behind them. And I didn't go to a HBCU, so I kind of felt like I let my dreams go of going to a HBCU, and that hurt my heart, y'all. So yeah, that's like a little backstory. I've always wanted to come to Georgia. But yes, when I decided, it was about 2014. And my son is about 4 at this time. So I'm like, okay, let me just do my research and shit like that. And then one of my closest friends, that's my sister, and my cheer sister as well. She's from Kansas City as well. She went to Clark Atlanta. And I wrote her one day. Some just told me like, Jessica, just write right, Aaron. And I was like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Georgia or towards Atlanta area. Like, I'm how is it down there? I just asked questions, and she was so willing to, be like, yo, yes, come down here, come visit. It's great to be down here, especially for you having a young boy, black boy, see more positive outlooks on life when it comes to that stuff like that, right? And that was 2014. 2015, I started taking trips. And at this time, I have Section 8, right? I had Section 8. And so I knew about the process of how they were called absorbing, that you can transfer your Section 8 to another state. And I was like, okay, let me do that. Let me see what I have to do in order to get to where I'm trying to be. And when I say relentless in this bitch, y'all, I was relentless to get the fuck up out of Kansas City. I was like, yep, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I love everybody, but y'all be good. And I started the process of looking. I was looking for it. I wrote down, like, I was doing my research here. I was looking at the crime rates. I was looking at the school districts, especially the school districts. If you are going to move, okay, there we go. If you are going to move out of the state and you have housing authority, start looking. Look at the school districts first, y'all. Because you have to think about it. It's not just about you, it's about your baby too, or your babies. So look at the school districts first. And then, see who has the housing authority in that county or in that city. That's how you do that. And then like I said, I looked at the crime rate, looked at the communities, looked at the history of the cities and shit like that in Georgia, and the transportation. Hey, if I ain't got no car, can I still get around in this bitch? Okay, go plan. And I ain't even gonna hold you. I checked the HIV and the STIs, what do you want to call it, rates. And I was like, because I was like, if I'm gonna be down here, I done heard the stories for years that this was that capital of that package. And I was like, let me just let me just do my research, because if I'm gonna be down here, I'm pretty sure I'm going to date. And the thing I will tell you is, if you relocate to a new city, wait a year before you date, or before, like I was like, at least 6 months, get yourself together first. Moms, dads, whoever, get yourself together first. Do not come down here trying to do this, that, and the third. No, get your shit together. And I didn't go on a first date until I was like almost 10 months in here. And I wasn't really in a true relationship until like, and hell, sometimes I'll be like, do I want to count that shit? But like really going on dates with a fella and being with each other, spending the night over each other's place. And that was like what, 2017 going into 2018. And I got down here in 2016. So go figure, do the math. I ain't about to do it for you. But 2016 got here in May. But in that process, the way God and the Most High, my ancestors worked for me, they knew I was supposed to come down here. Because when it's all said and done, I just learned that. Okay, baby. All right, so that lost thought. Circle back around. Okay, so I was saying that basically I found out just a few weeks back, probably like May, yeah, a month ago, that my bloodline, my ancestors were down here in 1802. I looked at the family tree. My nana on my dad's side, my dad's mom let me look at the family tree. And like take pictures and shit. My family was down here in 1802, 1801, 1802. If that does not tell you how the Most High works in the ancestor and the universe works in this bitch, I don't know what the fuck does. Because I basically came back home. I came back to my fucking roots, but I also have my bloodline background in Alabama as well. So when I saw that family tree saying Georgia 1801, 1802, y'all, whose y'all drop to the flow was mine, baby. Okay, so when it's for you, it's for you, and always remember that. But we're gonna slide back to the video, okay? Aye. Okay, I had a whole blank. But yeah, no, I did my research down here, y'all. And within the process, I was a CNA. And so I started the process of taking trips down here. I had a cousin. I don't really talk to her like that at all anymore. Drama, didn't have time for it. I distanced myself. But at that time, we were cool. This is on my dad's side. And she allowed me, she lived in, in Gwinnett County. And those were the counties I was looking at, Cobb County and Gwinnett County. So those are the ones that's got the good school districts, everything's for the most part safe. For the most part, don't quote me on everything. It shit still be going on in those counties. But yes, I took trips. The first trip, I flew my son down. We flew down here and we stayed here for like about a good 4 or 5 days. And we went to the World of Coca-Cola and stuff like, we did little activities and shit like that. And I hung out with my cousin. And then we came back. I asked my son, he's like 5 at the time. I was like, do you like Georgia? He was like, yeah, I like it. I was like, I kind of tricked him. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Don't judge me. Shut up, okay? But I ended up, was like, okay, I just want this new fresh start for me and my son, and he deserves it. I deserve it. So I started the process of looking at apartments and looking at who had whatever housing authority, who took Missouri Independence, Missouri, Section 8 and stuff like that. And I came upon Marietta. Marietta has their own housing authority. So I was like, okay, let me just check them out. And I got on the list, y'all. And for the, transferring, can't get the word out. Lord help us all. But I took trips, and then it's times that my mom will watch him for. My mom, she wasn't feeling about me. She wasn't feeling it about me leaving. But I was like, I gotta go live my life. You raised me. You did a good job, ma'am. I ain't gonna hold you. Probably could have did a little bit better. But you know what? Every parent, no parent's perfect. She did what she could when me growing up for me and my brother. But it's my time to live my life. Deuces, y'all don't. Because if I wasn't trying to throw my child on y'all probably be like, oh, she always out here. No, no, no. Me and my kid gonna get on out of here. We're gonna do what to do, and we're gonna live life. So, one and two, like again, I'm a single mother. So at the end of the day, what I say goes in this bitch. Do a fuck. And I took more trips by myself down here, and I went to go to apartment complexes. I went to a housing authority. I was taking trips down here, y'all. I would use my PTO in this bitch and bring my ass down here. People knew, even at my job, I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what y'all talking about. I am leaving. Screw you guys. You am. Okay. So, with that being said, I got all the way to the point that I went down there, went to housing authority, came down here. And for a few months, they finally called me around the end of January of 2026. I mean, not 2026, 2016. We ain't doing no edits in this piece. It's just gonna go straight through, y'all. But 2016, at the end of January, they sent me an email and I think they called me as well. And I was supposed to go to New Orleans, and I talk about this in my New Orleans video as well. Me traveling for Mardi Gras, right? And I was supposed to go with some nurses, some friends who I worked with and everything, who even friends from like school. I mean, not from school, but from church and everything. We was just all gonna get together and just go out of town for Mardi Gras and come right back. But that's how that was gonna be. But my appointment landed on Mardi Gras, y'all. When I think about it now, that shit crazy. My appointment to get my stuff transferred from Kansas City to Marietta, Georgia was on Mardi Gras. So I was like, I wasn't fully conflicted, but I was. I was like, dang, I really wanted to go to New Orleans so bad. And then, but I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted for me and my son. So I was like, yo, I'm going to Georgia. I hope y'all have fun, be safe, take a lot of pictures, take a shot for me. But I got to go over here. Y'all go over there. I'll see y'all when we all get back and come back to work and shit like that. And everything went good. So what I did was I took not the mega bus. I took the Greyhound bus because I was like, hey, I still gotta pay my bills. I still gotta pay my rent from the apartment that I'm in now. I still gotta do a lot of shit by myself. Okay, and I took the time to just go down there. That was like a 19-hour ride, 22-hour ride, y'all. That's how relentless and how determined I was to get down to Georgia. I was like, I'm gonna save money. You sure right? It added up a little bit, but taking the bus wasn't too horrible. Um, it was a process. It was long. It really was. But I knew what I wanted to do, and I went down there, went through the observing meeting and stuff like that with Marietta Housing Authority, and then my best friend, the one who was already down here, my cheer sister, she was at work at this time. She was working for car rental services, but she was like, hey, do you need help to get, I can get you an Uber and Lyft. And that's how I started hearing about Uber and Lyft when I first got down here. And she was like, I'll make sure you get back to the to the train station and everything. So I got to the place, but she got me back so I could get back home. And with that process, it started the process of, I guess they give you 60 days to find a place out of the state, but you could always ask for an extension. And I was like, well, damn. I was like, hey, I'm gonna need a little more time. So when they give you extension, it goes from 90 days to 120 days, I believe. And within that process, I was able to find an apartment, and I found these apartments. These are the first apartments I was in, y'all, for the first 5 years of being down here. And I actually love that apartment. I did a lot of growing. That's where I graduated. That's when I graduated from the surgical tech program. Uh, you know, learned a lot of lessons and grew. And with that being said, I really wanted to get down here so bad, to the point that the girl, she was like, you live in Kansas City? I said, yes, ma'am. And she was like, do you really want to get down here, Jess? I said, I do. Yes, ma'am. I really do. I want to change for me and my son. She said, we're going to make sure you and your son get down here. We gonna get you in these apartments. We gonna get you. And I had Section 8 because some of these Section 8 apartments are not going to allow you to go into the apartments without an income. I didn't have an income, but the other apartments where I was just at, the townhome, y'all seen me kind of go. I had upstairs and the downstairs, and I kid you not, they wanted me to have a job. They was like, yeah, we approve, we do Section 8, but you gotta have an income. I didn't have an income, so I was able to go to Housing Authority and let them know, like, hey, they got that going on. I need some form of income. But so they paid my rent. So the woman was like, hey, when you get over here, you be okay. Section 8 gonna take care of it. You just get yourself together, transfer your CNA license, do what you need to do. When people see you fucking trying, when people see that you putting the fucking work in, when people see that you are fucking on it, they're going to help you. I promise you, they're gonna fucking help you. But you gotta want it. How bad do you want it? How some of my mentors and coaches for life insurance was, how bad do you want it? And I wanted that shit bad, y'all. And I got down here, and the crazy shit is, I was packing everything up and this, that, and the third, getting everything ready, and they called me. They was like, "Yeah, we got you. We found you. Got you a 2 bedroom." She was like, "I ain't gonna hold you. It's not on the second floor. It's on the first floor." But I was like, I didn't want first floor, but I said, "Fuck it, I'ma take it." And within that process, they was like, "Well, we got your key ready. We do this and that." So what the fuck I did was, y'all, they called me when I got my paycheck. That's the crazy. It just shows you how the universe and the Most High and your ancestors, when something is meant for you, that shit going to line. Okay, I paid for a ticket. I got paid a day before, so my paychecks hit They would hit Thursday. If they say Fridays, but my paycheck hit Thursday. So I bought a whole round trip ticket that Thursday to fly out motherfucking Friday to go sign that goddamn lease, get my key, flew the fuck back, kept packing. Okay. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way. And I'm one of them motherfuckers. I'm a relentless Sagittarius in this bitch. I always find a way. Okay, always. And got up there, got down here, signed the lease, flew back, and kept the process going. And when it was to the point that for my last couple of weeks here I keep on saying here, been here for so long, but my last couple of weeks in Kansas City, I hung out with family, friends, and stuff like that. Kind of be like, hey, we about to be sliding on out of here. But see, people didn't know. Now, 10 years later, I'm about to say it. My last day of work was May 5th or May 6th, I believe, at the nursing facility I worked at, right? But I was still in Kansas City for 2 weeks. I hung out with everybody at the beginning of May because I already knew in the back of my head, having that discernment, that everybody, if I stay here all the way up until it's time for me to go, I ain't gonna have no money. I'm gonna get distracted. People won't. I knew what the fuck it was, so I told my mom. I stayed with my mom for 2 weeks, me and my son, and I said, "Don't you tell nobody that I'm here." I said, "I don't want nobody. Don't you tell grandma. Don't you tell Donnie. Don't you tell nobody. Aunties, cousins. Don't you tell nobody." Everybody knew I was leaving and everything, and they just thought that I had already left. Even my job thought I was already in Georgia, but y'all, I was still in Kansas City from May 5th all the way to May 21st. And then I drove, packed everything what I could up in my car, and left some things at my mom's house in the garage. And then I dipped out, and my cousin Keisha Drill helped me drive 12, 13 hours with me and my son and my 2002 Mercury Cougar with the TV in the back and the covers, clothes, whatever I could fit in that motherfucker 2 door. Okay. And we drove. And I have not ever looked back since. And I'm grateful for that. I go back home to Kansas City. People who follow me, I see me on whatever social media platforms. I do go back home. But sometimes I go back home quietly. Sometimes I go back home, hey, everybody. But, I am just so glad that I got 10 years in here, and I grew, and I learned so many things, and I learned how to finesse the motherfucking system too, because they finesse us. Okay, ain't no scammer type shit, but I know how to move about in the society, being a single mother and raising a young black boy, and also growing and evolving. And these past 10 years, I have been evolving, and just, I don't know how to say it. It's just, I am not the same Jessica I was 10 years ago. Each year you change, but I've seen the growth, the maturity, the the my nervous system becoming a lot more. I'm more aware, self-aware of so much things now, and I'm proud of myself. I might be going through some things right now, baby. But this too shall pass, okay? And the crazy thing, I'm here in my phlebotomy office. Not mine, but I work for a young lady. We're like the same age. She's cool as shit. But she, gave me a chance. And the crazy thing is, y'all, before I went into surgical tech, I wanted to do phlebotomy. And I let somebody else kind of talk me into surgical tech, which I don't regret. I don't. I promise you I don't. I enjoyed that whole journey. It was bomb. I ain't gonna hold you. But after I got out into the work environment, I was like, ooh, this is and me standing up for hours at a time in one spot, and I can't itch my scratch on top of my head. I don't think so. Not for me. But I enjoyed the process of, you know, of going to school and me going back to school as well, y'all. Like, I went back to school and got associate's degree down here. I ain't wasn't nobody thinking about that shit up in Kansas City. I was like, when you step about your comfort zone, y'all, and you step away from the same people that you grew up with, or the people who you worked with, or the people who saw you in a certain way, and then you move away and grow, and they see the change. Even people, they be like, we're so proud of you. And it warms my heart because I just feel like I had to take a chance for me and my son. And if you feel like that right now, you are not alone. I was there once. I was like, there's nothing here for me but nothing but a bat. What do you call it? What they call it? A crab in a barrel in a bucket, whatever. I don't know. But I was like, I love everybody back home in Kansas City, but it's like I had to do it for me. I had to do it for the newer, higher version of Jessica, and I'm in the process of hitting another level. And but I wanted to kind of come tell that story. I know it probably was here, and there, but yes, it makes 10 years that I've been here in the state of Georgia and getting my degree and evolving and becoming a new, better version of myself. I ain't perfect, y'all. Shut up. I ain't perfect. I did some stupid shit even when I was down here. I ain't even gonna hold you. Your girl went to jail for one night in this bitch. Shit, I can talk about it now. I don't give a fuck. But it was bait driving. But one thing I will tell you before you come down here, make sure your license is legit. Make sure your insurance is legit. Or two, if you're not gonna switch down here, keep your shit updated in the other state, because they could get behind you down here and run your shit, run your tags. They can see if your shit suspended, if you ain't got no insurance, or if they can run your shit. Georgia got that technology, baby. They will check your shit and run your shit, and you mm-mm, mm-mm. If you're gonna come down here, be legit. See, I was told that twice by two people when I fucked around and found out. Don't fuck around and find out now. Don't do it. And one friend, I didn't meet her until she moved down here, until she moved down here, and she kind of figured it out. I had to tell her, I said, you got to keep your license and your registration and your insurance on track down here. Hugo, pay as you go, car insurance, Hugo, and it's good for a month, even when you put just a couple dollars down and a couple days down. But you ain't hear that from me. But yes, you guys, like, if you are wanting to move and relocate, do it, because you're going to turn around and you're going to have regret, resentment, anger in your heart of why the fuck I didn't do it. And I was mad at myself and my mom for years that I didn't leave the first fucking time. And I think that's how I kind of got in the predicament I was in. Got knocked up in Chicago and then came back home to Kansas City. And then I left. I said, if I can do decent in Chicago, baby, I could do decent anywhere on the west side in the hood. But that's on his dad's side. So that's the only way I was able to be somewhat safe in this piece. But yes, guys, it's like happy 10th anniversary to me and being in Georgia. I am thinking, I was like, do I want to leave Georgia? Do I want to stay in Georgia? I'm thinking, I want to see the world. And my son wants to see the world too as well. We're like, it's giving nomads. I ain't even gonna hold you. I can't stay in one spot for a long ass time. For me to be here for 10 years, baby, mission accomplished. I can actually sit somewhere for 10 years at least. At least I know that. But apartment wise, I done had like 3 apartments down here. But, it's good to move. When you get that momentum, life goes for you when you decide not to just stay in one place and let your life pass you by. Don't let your life pass you by. I'm telling you. You deserve to see the world. You deserve to have new beginnings. You deserve to see something new for you and yours. Even if it's just you, you deserve it. But I'm going to get off of here, y'all. Say it's going to be like a 20-minute video. I'm going to edit just a little bit. Just a little bit. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you dare, y'all. I'm at the end of my shift anyway, so I had downtime. So I was like, let me come talk to y'all. But I love you guys. Thank you for supporting. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, so please like, comment, subscribe. I am enjoying making these videos when I can, and I ain't going nowhere, y'all. I ain't doing that. It was like maybe a month or so. Sometimes take a break, but I'm getting back into the role of it, and life is just gonna life, and you just have to learn how to navigate and regulate your nervous system through this shit. That's all you can really do, and be happy and have love in your heart. And I love y'all for everybody who has been watching me, who has subscribed. I appreciate y'all. Like, y'all, we about to be traveling. Y'all about to be seeing me in these streets with a 16-year-old. Okay, complain. Who? 16-year-old where? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'm about to close this office down, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.